Right now, do you have a lot of songs that are unfinished? Lots of pieces of songs, but not really fully finished songs? Or do you have those songs that are there or thereabouts in terms of being finished, but you're not fully happy with what you've created at the end? And lyrically, structurally, melodically, the story of your song, you're just not 100% happy with. Now, that was me 4 or 5 years ago, until I discovered an approach that I really liked, and I'm sure lots of different songwriters have different takes on this particular approach, but I want to share with you the simplest trick that I have used to transform the way that I write songs, that makes them quicker, easier, and makes the story and the lyrics far simpler to write for me, and makes them more clearer to the listener, who is going to get the end result when they actually press play. So I'm going to dive through this with you, what the process looks like, and also what most songwriters are doing right now, which is ultimately leading them to be stuck, and how we need to change that method, change the psychology, and break the pattern of how you might like to write at the moment, and look at doing it a slightly alternate way, only to better your songs at the end. So let's dive on into this. So I'm sure we've all done it, me included, where we go to a guitar, or we go to a piano, or we go to music production first. Now, that is the first big mistake that you can make, because this is what happens. Now, I'm sure you can all relate to this, where we put together a couple of chords. Okay, and what we then start to do is we just start to write, not with any clear direction. We just start to sing. I've been looking at your love. Tell me that you feel the way I do. Right? And we do that for 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes. And we might actually find something that sounds good. But here's the problem. Later on in that same song, you're going to get stuck. And I'm going to tell you why you're going to get stuck, because when you started to write this song, like we just have here, we started with some chords, and we don't really know what we're trying to say. We're just singing out ideas. We don't know what we want to say. We don't know what the point of the song is about. We don't know what the journey is. We don't actually have any context of this particular song. So we are going to get stuck later on, because we're going to be left thinking to ourselves, what do we actually want to say? What are we trying to see? What we're putting across here? You're going to hit writer's block, and you're going to get stuck. Now, I'm not saying for you not to write a song this particular way, where you start with some chords, but I have a slightly better way of doing it. When I say slight, I mean actually a much better way. One that actually gets you clearer results with better songs. Because what we're doing here, if we were to give an analogy, is like getting in the car and not really knowing where we're driving. So if you don't know where you're driving, what's going to happen? You're going to get lost. So that's why you go on your phone, or you go to your maps, and you put out the journey that you need to take. That's what we're basically going to be doing with our song writing. Okay, so let's dive into the way that I have gone about doing it now, since doing this for many years and not really getting the greatest of results. So what we must do is take the guitar, and we need to go and put it away, okay, somewhere safe where it's not going to fall. But go ahead and pop it away, because it doesn't need to be used at the start of the session. What we need to do, and the way that I like to do it, is I like to start with an idea, okay? Now, the ideas that I use are typically song titles. So I start with a song title first. And I'm going to give you just a couple of quick ones of how I go and find song titles. So I find a lot of them from the internet. So, for example, one really unique one that not a lot of people use and think slightly bizarre is horse names, okay? If you've ever seen a horse race, you will more than likely see that it's got a very quirky name, a very different name. So to give you some examples, I know I've got song titles on my phone, which are things like Hidden Treasure, 10,000 Ways That Didn't Work, Rush Hour, all of these different, quirky, slightly different. Heaven's Devil is another one that I've actually written as well. So all of these are little titles that I will go through my phone at the start of the session. Before I pick up any instrument, before I try to write the song, I will just get something that is an idea, something that just gets me that excitement, and sometimes I might go to the guitar and just start to sing that title out, just for a bit of experimentation. But I will find the idea first, the song title, or it could be like a short quote, Okay, so for example, if I'm watching the news or I'm on the internet typing in headline news, there might be a quote that somebody has said. And there's so many that I have used. Like one that I really like that I put into a song is, I'm not a criminal, I wouldn't mistreat you. Or I'm not a remote, I'm not meant to be controlled. So lots and lots of little quotes or little phrases that I might start to write the song from. And all they are designed for me to do is just give me a sense of direction. Just give me a little starting point so that then I can move forwards into the next stage of the songwriting process. So my step one and my first tip is to go ahead and find yourself a song title or a short quote of 5 to 6 or 7 words, nothing too big, not like a big paragraph, just a few short words to start you in the songwriting process with a bit of direction. Now what we do from here, we don't pick up an instrument, we don't pick up the piano or go to the guitar or anything like that just yet. We go ahead and what we do from here is we plan out the song, okay? And this is what I call my plan and preparation, okay? Let's just to put this in any other context. Again, if we're driving a car and we're driving a long distance, so let's say we were driving 100 miles from your current location to somewhere you've never driven before. You need to plan and you need to prepare your route that you're going to take from the place that you are to where you want to go. Or if you were to cook food tonight, all right, and you're going to cook something that you've never cooked, you would plan everything out and the steps that you need to take so that you make the best food at the end. Because if you don't, it could possibly be disastrous, okay? They might be good, but you don't really want to take that chance. You want to have that consistency in knowing that you're going to get a good result at the end. So if we would do it in a cooking scenario, or we'd do it when we're driving, why is songwriting any different? We need to plan and prepare the song out. Now, how I like to do this personally is I take the song title that I have. So the song title, let's say it's Heaven's Devil, one that I mentioned before. And I would ask myself or the co-writers in the song, and I would say, what is the point of this song? And let me ask you that, or let me tell you that one more time. What is the point of this song? Right? So you're going to be super clear from the start what this song is all about. So if we said in the Heaven's Devil example, it could be that this person, it could be male or female, and let's just say we're attracted to them, but we know that they have a really great side to them, and they're loving and they're passionate and they're caring, but they also have this devilish side to them that we can't control, and we can't really seem to understand why they go into that kind of mindset or way of being, and we don't know whether we should continue the relationship long term because they've got this heaven side, which is amazing and fantastic, but they also have this devil side, which is really harming towards themselves and a possible future relationship. Okay, now what we would do is we put that down on a piece of paper, and we've got super clear now on what it is we're trying to say in the song. And step 3 is we go a level deeper. So we've now identified what the point of the song is. So the top, we've identified what this is all about. We now want to go layers underneath. Now what I mean by that is we want to figure out, what does verse 1 say to the big overarching story? What does the chorus say to the overarching story? And what does verse 2 say to the actual whole point of this song? We break it up into sections. Imagine it again like you go on the internet and you're looking at cooking a meal tonight, and it's going to give you the clear step by step. So it's going to tell you what you're cooking, and then it's going to say step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. Step 4, and so on. You're doing the same thing with your song. You have the song title, the big overarching idea. Then you've got the point of the song, which is just breaking it down a little bit. Then you have verse 1. Okay, verse 1 is all about actually the heaven side of this person and how amazing that side is and how much you love it and how much you enjoy being in that company of that person when they're in that, kind of frame of mind and thinking. Pre-chorus, let's say we have a pre-chorus. Pre-chorus is then introducing this devil aspect of the song. And you're explaining how they can just kind of switch quite quickly and suddenly for no real apparent reason into this particular type of person that you don't feel attracted to, that is aggressive or whatever it might be. And then the chorus is basically saying, heaven's devil, which one are you? Because I don't want both. And then verse 2 is possibly looking at the resolve. Do you go in the relationship with them and it's a big mistake? Do they solve their ways and fix their way of being? Is it unfixable and you don't go in the relationship and you actually just go somewhere else? Like, what is it? Right? So now what we've done there very simply is we've just broken down what each section of the song is doing, so that when we go now into the songwriting process, we know what we're trying to say. So let me give you an example of this, because now we can pick up a guitar. Now we can go to a piano because we know what we're actually trying to get across in the song. So we know that in verse 1 is we're going to actually talk about the heaven side of this person, how amazing they are, how great it is to be in their company, how caring they are, or whatever it might be. Okay, so we can go to the guitar now and we know what we're trying to say, rather than just going we don't, at that point we didn't know, now we do. So it could be, let's just say, you've got a heart that cares so much, right? We found that lyric because we know what we're trying to say, right? You got a heart that cares so much. You got a way about you, right? And we've got those lyrics because we've figured out what we're trying to say. You've got a heart that cares so much in just that way about you, right? Now, if I was writing the song, I would probably spend 5 or 10 minutes just writing out lyric ideas rather than going straight into the writing process. But I just wanted to share with you how it can go very quickly from idea, planning, preparation. Now I'm into the songwriting, and that's taken me no more than 5 minutes. But now I know there's a very good chance later on in the song that I'm not going to get stuck, that I know what I want to say, I'm not going to hit writer's block, and I'm going to more than likely get to the end of this song with a clear understanding and a good storyline that runs throughout the entire path of the song. So please restrain yourself from wanting to go straight to the instruments or the production first, because it will trip you up later on in the process. I can guarantee if you just spend those 5, 10, 20 minutes at the very start of the process to identify the song title or the quote or the short few sentence words or the short few words, you will find it far, far easier when you're going to the process later on. This is the way that I write every single song. And if I'm writing, let's say I'm writing 10 songs, 9 times out of 10, I will go to this process. And there'll be the one time where it's a little bit different for some reason. But do this. Now, a pro tip for you, if you really do want to go to your instrument first, and you really like that way of writing where it's very free, it's very unrestricted, and that you can go everywhere and anywhere, that's great. This is what I suggest to you. Go to your instrument, okay? Start playing your chords and still do maybe your 5 or your 10 minutes of singing out words. Maybe it's a maybe I can love you right. Maybe I can love you better than he can tonight, yeah. Maybe I can love you, baby. Maybe I can love you right. Right? Let's just say that as an example. I can love you better than he can, or something like that. Now, that song has been done thousands and thousands of times. Here's what I'm trying to get across, though. So let's say we've just started to write the song that way, and you've got an idea. So I can love you better than he can. I can love you tonight, whatever it might be. Then go and place this guitar. Place it back down. Don't carry on and carry on, because now you've got an idea, now you've got a melody, now you've got something that you can start from. Go and put the guitar back down and go back to the process, because now you've got the song title or the short quote. Now go ahead and start planning out the song the same way that I have suggested in this video. And that's how simple the process is. Rather than focusing on melody and guitars and progressions and all of that kind of stuff, just get super clear in where it is you want to go, how you want to say it, and how it's going to be delivered, because I can guarantee it'll transform your songwriting very, very quickly and make the process easier and quicker. So go ahead, try it in your songwriting. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, drop the like, and a comment for any other videos that you'd like to see on this channel. I've been Danny Boyle here, founder of Songwriters International, and I'll see you again soon.